So wase wengi sana walinitag jana juu ya history ya Kang'ethe. Of course kwa juu ya story ya Kang'ethe ni Kevin Kang'ethe was a fugitive, alidedishana masaiza Boston, akabaki amehepa hapa Kenya. The first time we had the story, of course, we talked about it, and then he was arrested because he was clubbing in Westlands, and then akabaki amehepa from Muthaiga police station, and then he was rearrested again in Ngong. So story kama hii, of course, I always try to look for a different perspective. So since by the time to record in Valentine's Day, and I did not take the wife out for dinner, nikamwambia like, we can do something romantic. For example, doing a podcast together. So yeah, hi.
Hi, what is more romantic than doing a murder podcast, yeah?
Yeah. So I want us to talk about your story ya murder. Because kituwaga interesting na wewe ni, you listen to this crime podcast, a lot of them, eh?
Yes, because like, utajuaje how to survive when it comes to, if you're in such a situation, how do you get away from it, yeah?
Yeah.
See, also like, if anything happens and you're the Kelvin Kang'Ethe of this story, like, you can't be this sloppy in your works, yeah?
I actually think he's good at his thing.
No, he's not.
He was on the run for over a month.
Yes, but
that's long enough to...
But like, what I feel like is the dumbest shit he did. You ran away. The first time he escaped from the US, yeah?
Yeah.
And you ran home. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay, wacha nikutake back basi. The one how this works. Remember as a kid?
Yeah.
Ukifanya kitu mbaya uko na hepa unaenda kwa nani?
To my mother?
Yes. Si Kenya is his mother.
No.
Alikuwa na expect mother yake protect. Aya, no. Kenya is kwa national anthem atumangi, oh mother. Hakunaga, it's not like mother. Kwa national anthem. I can't sing the national anthem.
The other day I told you to say the Pledge of Allegiance and you said the one for the US. And I'm sure you can sing the national anthem ya US na Canada.
Funny enough, siwezi.
You
But
can.
Canada at some point I could.
Yes.
Because of it was an advert. I think it was an advert for a sports show. Yeah. I think it was Fox Sports.
Yeah.
I could. But saizi siwezi. Even the Star Spangled Banner, I can't do it. But Kenya team, Mungu nguvu yetu ilete baraka kwetu. Haki iwe ngao na mlinzi.
You've done a good job. Okay, umebant.
Tupate na ustawi.
Yo. No.
Okay, so but you always run to your mother. Sindio? So Kevin Kang'ethe ran to his mother. Lazima nikoshua mother yake, like his literal mother most probably lives in Kenya. Like his own mother.
Yes.
So
and that's why I'm telling you, like, you see, the sloppy thing he did is he ran home. That's the first place they're going to check. And even if he came to Kenya and decided, okay, sawa nimekimbilia Kenya, get a different strategy. So yes, you are in Kenya. You've been able to get away with it, yeah? It's only 1 month. These people are still looking for you. Bado hawajakusahau, right? So you decide to stay in Kenya and then you go clubbing in Westlands. Come on.
Yeah. Your West ilini surprising sana. Like we talked about it with Akina Raps and Ian, and we were saying like you can't go to West. First of all, why? Because of the fact that watu wa West are people who might have family in America.
1,000%.
There are places you can club and no one knows you. But West, utakuwa hapo.
And it's like say West ndio the hub ya ma experts in Kenya to start with. Like any person who lands in Kenya and they decide, okay, I want to live in Kenya, na wao ni expert. The first place they think about is Westlands. Yeah. Why would you go there?
Yeah.
Sielewi, by the sielewi.
You are Westie. There are some few dumb things amefanya. Because kitu moja mupatiaga Kevin Kang'ethe is, let's forget about the murder. We talk about what happens after the murder. After the murder, he leaves her body at an airport. So most probably he murdered her at the airport.
Yeah.
Got on a plane. This is the first dumb move. You get on a plane, you don't use 14 hours kukuja Kenya. tumia 8 hours ufike Amsterdam, you have most probably have an American passport, you can go to anywhere in the world.
That's what I'm saying. Don't go home.
Google zile countries zile hazina extradition to America.
Yeah.
At that point, enda hata Iran, enda Cuba, enda any country that does not have extradition. Then ukishafika huko. But sasa, of course, akahepa. But umemwona, like, have you looked at his
Listen,
photos?
So his first mugshot, you remember the first time that people were posting akiwa Boston, alikuwa amechomwa na ile abroad sun. You know, abroad sun makes you shine and you understand. Na alikuwa na some meat on his body. Then today I saw him in his Valentine attire. Uliona kwa kote alikuwa amevaa red.
Yeah.
And it looks like two different people. Ameparara proper. Like, what happened between... And also, like, was it last week? Last week ndo alihepa custody in Kenya, right?
Yeah.
He didn't look like this, right? Because last week alikuwa anakamse yuko tu sawa. Alafu, today I see him in court with his Valentine attire, and I'm there thinking, what happened in this 1 week? Yenye amekula shida hivyo vyote.
I think Nini, people underestimate how important freedom is. Like, in my mind, Musamaga, the first thing that separates us from animals is that 100% freedom. You know, before anything. Because most animals, even the best animals like lions, they can't leave your pack. And you're outside the park, we are going to kill you. Yes, you might kill one of us, but if we find you, we are going to kill you. See?
Yeah.
So you have to restrict you somewhere.
Yeah.
You as a human being, you can go anywhere. So Kevin Kang'Ethe could go anywhere. Most probably, yani, okay, you understand what I mean? Anywhere in quotes. So most probably, he looks like someone who was successful in the US. So he had this, in quotes, perfect life.
But who was he before he became this murderer? You see, why I watch my podcast, her legs were cut off, her hands were cut off. It's because of this. You need to understand who was he before. And I don't want to hear those stories of, he was always the silent one. He just stayed to himself. Now I need to know, like, what did he do, whatever, and
wacha to put you out there, Jo. Kaya ni fan wa IKONINI na uko unajua msee personally, I'd want to also know the story, like neza taka the story msee and what led him to these decisions, because remember, like, when I told you about the guy tulikuwa naye Primo.
Yes, exactly.
And he lost his shit and killed his wife. So kuna hiyo where I remember the person, you don't like to hear this, but he was a quiet dude, very calm, never fought anyone. You understand?
Yeah.
So kulikuwa na hiyo. But sasa Kevin Kang'Ethe. But now let's go back to his looks, kabla to come to try to understand brain yake. Okay, he escapes. Let's also start with that. He escaped last week, I think on Wednesday night. Because Sisi, remember I had an interview with John Alanamu on Thursday.
Yeah.
And when I woke up in the morning, the first thing, of course, I have to check, hey, Alanamu anaenda wapi? Anakuja makuji, because Alanamu is...
Alanamu, yeah.
Yes. So you're not 100% sure kama atakuja makuji. So of course, niko na nakuja. Alafu I see his tweet. His tweet is that this guy escaped. So he escaped on Wednesday night, sindio? On Wednesday night, you escape. Where do you go? You go to Ngong? Like, I feel like Kenya, by the time unatoka kwa ile police station, unafaa kumiorganize vile unaenda mpaka kwa border.
But
by the time,
alikuwa ameping.
React.
You saw when they were looking for him.
Yes, he was pinging.
Yeah.
They said this on Monday. So on Monday, this motherfucker decides, I'm going to go online. Yes? And his phone pings, and the Kenya police tell you, phone yako imeping. That's your opportunity to
go. Because nakumbuka when I read that, Nini, that headline, that his phone pinged in sijui Machakos, Ngong, and whatever. And I'm just there thinking, why are we telling him this? Because you see, if it's a smart person and he reads that article, that's what I'm saying, he's dumb as hell. He's dumb as hell.
And if we didn't just ping, lipping karibu na bro wake.
Exactly.
Alikuwa mteja.
Yeah.
No, by his phone pinging, it was not his phone. You know how they caught him?
Yeah.
I saw this thing from, what was it? It's Boniface Mwangi who'd written like his thesis on that, his hypothesis on that. So he was saying this is how they catch you. you lose your phone number, sindio? Naturally, because that's the easy way thing to do.
Yeah.
But who are you going to contact?
Your people.
Your people.
Yeah.
So all the police have to do is monitor the numbers you used to call.
Yeah.
I love they see, oh, all of a sudden there's a number that's never called this number. It has to be this guy. Now they start pursuing that number. So that's why now they were able to know his phone is pinging uko Ngong. Na mimi nikisikia phone yangu imeping, nikienda online nione, oh, his phone is pinging Ngong. Naingia Ngong Forest, tuko ndani nipigane na wanyama. I just go ndani. Ndapita tu zile bodies all those.
But they can still find you. Like,
uko ndani ya Ngong Forest?
Yes.
I'm just entering there and being Tarzan. Unanipata juu ya mti huko. Like I've started a whole new life.
Kuna kitu moja, and you've said freedom is one big thing. First of all, sahi ina make sense because Nairobi is hot than the devil's butt.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, how long will you stay in that forest?
Yeah, it's so the first thing was never, don't come to Kenya. That was a mistake.
Yes, that's why I'm saying.
Ama when he came to Kenya, immediately akonafaa kucross aingie mpaka Congo huko. Congo, they are so busy. Just I was telling people that I'd go to Congo and just marry some woman with a beard. Just live happily ever.
You have weird fantasies.
No, I don't have fantasies.
Missing and Devu. So now people are imagining I have a beard.
No, I'm just saying that. Huko, sasa now you don't have to live a whole different life.
Yes.
So,
and you can live quietly.
Unajua woman with a beard are like, oh, cool, you love me. Yeah, you see, like, yuko hapo si wote tuna ndevu natembea kwa streets atuonekani. Alafu unanipata tu niko tu bolingo yanayo natembea tu.
Please. Now listen.
Yeah.
His first mistake was coming back home. That was the first biggest mistake he did.
Yeah. Don't come to mommy.
Yeah, don't come back home. That's number one. Number two, he comes back home and he decides, you know what, I'm not going to lay low.
Like, what the fuck do you go to a club?
Yes.
You kwenda club with tea, that one will never make sense to me. You kwenda club with tea will never make sense to me. Like, why? Because after being caught the first time, now you're fucked.
Yes.
But bila kushikwa, because no, even like Nini trails go run cold.
Yes, exactly. And that's why I'm saying, I remember you were asking me if I think I would have gotten away with this. In my Delulu mind, I'm thinking I would have. Because number one, I'm not coming back home. But tumeshavuka your bridge. You're not thinking, right? You've done the gravest mistake of your life, yeah? The biggest crime, yeah. You're in this plane and the whole time you're just thinking everybody knows. So no one even knows who you are or whatever.
What you've done.
But in your head, you're thinking everyone knows. And then you get to Kenya. And when you get to Kenya, you walk past the airport thinking, wananingojea. Like, and then you realize, oh my gosh, nimeingia, nimetoka, and I'm out. So you think in all your wisdom, which is like zero, you think, okay, I've gotten away with it, and then you go to a club. Okay, so now let's move away from that part. You stay the first week, maybe the first 2 days he stayed low. He laid low. I don't know.
I think he laid low for a few weeks because he was caught after more than a month. So he laid low for some time.
Okay, so you lay low. And then, of course, he's not living under a rock this whole time. He's watching TV, he's watching the news, and he knows anatafutwa. He's watching social media. Everyone is posting his face. You remember there's that day that everyone was posting his face.
You lakini when immediately after Auwe, Margaret.
Yes, exactly.
Then he came and even forgot about him.
I know Kenyans, we have like very quick amnesia to forget about a lot of issues, but kuna vitu zingine you can't forget. When you see a face, you'll remember. You understand? You'll remember like, umse anaka familia. And you decide, okay, nataka kwenda clubbing. And decide, Westlands? Really? Like Westlands?
Yeah, ungeishia Bungoma hapo tu kwa border tu.
Hey, man.
Into Uganda.
Okay, fine. So tumeshafika huko kote. And then you get arrested by some miracle, which I don't think it's a miracle.
You escape.
Do you think he really escaped peke yake it was a mistake.
Alisaidiwa. Alafu hapo
Right?
ndo
It was
nakwambia
an
now
inside
the
job,
mistake,
right?
this is where it happened because to mimi hiyo time the next thing naingia ni lori inapeleka mahindi Busia. That's where I'm going to stay, hapo ndani hiyo lori. Pale ndapitisha tu kwa border niingie Uganda. Then after Uganda, I try to go to Congo. You're trying to go to countries where they have other priorities than you. You see, Congo has more priorities than some fugitive from Kenya. You see? But Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, you're going to be caught. Utaonekana kwa video ya Diamond kipita kwa background na ndoo yako ya maji. And then you're brought back to the country. So, I'm trying to go to Congo, and after Congo, kuna DRC na kuna Congo.
Yeah.
I go to DRC na niingie pia Congo, alafu hata nienda up nikiwa Chad. Because now, you'll never have a good life. You see, this is the price of your stupidity. Like, you decided to make this very stupid decision, and now your whole life is messed up. Because I remember I was talking to Ian, Jay's story, and I was telling Ian that shida ya murder is this. When you're committing the crime, the person you're committing the crime to is going through the most horrific hell they'll ever go through. See?
Yeah.
And the minute you finish committing your crime, your hell starts. And you see, the hell of a dead person it's not really hell, because they went through hell during a period. Like the period he was killing Margaret was going through hell. As soon as she took her last breath, the way they also manga, she's in a better place. Now she was in a better place, and now his hell started.
But also his hell. Okay, let's talk about this for 1 second and then come back to this dude. Kuna hii hell yenye wasi wanafikiria heaven and hell, which I don't believe in because of many causes. And then
Nini, acha ni kuinterrupt. Amerix alisema when you marry a feminist you end up being an atheist. You turned me into an atheist. Let's continue.
Tell these people where you picked me up the first time we met.
Kumetoka kwaya.
No, say the name.
Kwaya, University of Nairobi.
No. You say a church. It was a church, not.
Sure. Okay.
You know, kwaya inaweza tu kuwa ile kwaya Safaricom. People think I was somewhere singing for the Safaricom ad. No. Anyway, moving on swiftly. And then there's this hell of karma, and I believe you only get it if you have a conscience or if you're stupid. Yeah. So there's two things. And when you watch this podcast and this series that I watch on serial killers and whatever, then you understand there are some people who have taken away the lives of so many people. But kuna hii kama yenye you know, as human beings tumeambiwanga if you do bad things something will happen. Kuna hii kama yenye tunakuanga tumengojea like instant justice and all that, and sometimes you don't get to have it, and it's so heartbreaking for the people who have lost their person. But I'm just so happy that this motherfucker is
going through hell.
Is going through a hell that he's created for himself.
You could see like how sad he is. Like I remember there's this one image niliona kwa Mpasho where he's holding his face
it's like regret. Like if regret was a photo, it would be that.
Yeah, because I'm sure he's thinking like, why did I do it?
Yeah.
And then you find out like it's not worth it. You know, like when you think it's worth it, because I've tried to look at all the reasons he could have killed her for, Cindy. And they go for, because I hear she was trying to separate, Cindy.
And so you just let her go.
So there's that. And then there are people who are always going to justify, maybe alikuwa amekula do yake mob. So let's look at that. Let's say alikuwa amekula do yake mob. You go to prison in the United States, most probably 25 to life.
And he's a black man.
You escape, there's going to be extra.
Yes.
So let's say it's either life. I don't think Boston has a death sentence. So now he's going to be in jail for life. The one thing ile tulianza kulearn because from American comedians was getting anally raped. Remember mpaka, I don't know if you saw that joke nani ilikuwa funny sana, Martin Lawrence, about what he'd do if he ended up in jail. I was seeing the way he was saying like he'd be the shittiest dude. He's there taking a shit, not wiping his ass, just walking around it. Like, because that's how much you're going to be violated. Don't forget you're Kenyan, so you have a funny name. I looked at him, he has 0 tattoos. You're not intimidating everyone. Everyone knows you made a stupid emotional decision, that's why you're here. You're there with thugs who didn't make emotional decisions, who are there because they are thugs. As in now aliamua like you find someone with tattoos kwa sura hivi, uone mtu aliamua like I'm not living a straight life. So uko nao watu alafu uko hapo, you are most probably an accountant or what, you're going to be someone's wife.
No, really, I'm so interested to know who this man was, and not was, is, because is still here.
Msana fa kutupatia story ni you know this guy, the Kenyan American home.
No.
This dude has very nice American stories. He's a Kenyan in the US. He's the one who gave that story. I think I told you the story there. Kuna a Kenyan who went to America and then akaenda clubbing. So every time on a club, like he was drunk, then met this really drunk white girl, went home with her. She woke up in the morning, she was like, rape. The guy is in prison right now. He's a Kenyan.
Oh, yeah, I remember that story.
So Kenyan American home alipatia nayo stories are very interesting. Like he gives this, nishamwandikia ma inbox hapa, I think more inboxes than zile nilikurushia. So another story he gave that was so interesting still about America. Tunarudi kwa Kang'ethe, but what ashinde tukidigress. So he gave this story of this Kenyan who was working in the Gulf. And life was fucked up. Like, you know, ile trying to hustle, job ya Gulf ikaisha. Then applied to go to America to visit. So vile ingia States akaona like, there are opportunities here. Let me try and extend. And in the process, he was fighting for his green card. So he got a green card like after 7 years. So hii time yote, he could not come back to Kenya. So what did he do during the 7 years? Worked his ass off, helped his mom build a home, helped his aunties, wakatengeneza, like aka-educate 2 of his aunties' kids. And you know, like everyone was happy like this. Then he was like, I finally have my papers, I can come to Kenya. So he comes to Kenya. After kuja Kenya, of course, visits his mom, looks at the house he built, and then his aunt called him, and aunt was like, hey, let's celebrate. You helped my 2 kids, kuja, let's have dinner. So he goes, has dinner with the aunt and the whatever. Then akitoka, haza kumwona tumbo. So naturally kutakuwa like, this is a stomach ache, this is something small.
Yeah.
So this guy says maybe akaenda akakunywa ino and tried to go about his day. It got worse. So he called a friend of his. Ambia besti yake kuja unichukue, unipeleke hosi. So he goes to hospital and they tell him, you've been poisoned. So he was poisoned by his mom's sister.
Why?
It gets interesting. So hii time amepoisoniwa, I think maybe alikuwa amemess clothes because unajua food nini lazima utapike. I don't know what happens. His friend is like, wacha niende nikulete nguo uchange, si ndio? And then besti yake alienda, by the time anarudi he was dead. So when the autopsy was done, they found out he'd been poisoned. Poisoned by a woman who he'd educated 2 kids of hers. And I'm sure he could have done more. But not like jealousy is a bitch. And then apart from that, I don't know. He leaves the story hanging. So I don't know if she ended up in jail. I don't know if the case is out there. But
why? But you see, I don't understand.
Is it jealousy?
No, jealousy. And then sasa vile he's gone. Alafu sasa your kids.
The mother won't be able to continue being happy and whatever. I don't know. Some people are just evil. So I saw that on Nani's channel, and it also shows the plight watu wa diaspora. You know, like if you're a diasporian right now, ukikuja Kenya, don't just eat food. Like inabidi kuwa food ikuwe kama ile. It's like the way when we go to your place. Na kuka food kwa plate moja, then we all serve. Don't give me my special food. I'm like, fuck that. I'm eating. Ama nanyang'anya mtu hii. Like you have to be like that.
Wacha nikule na kababa.
Yeah, wacha nikule na kababa. Afu naanza kula kababa supu. Like
wacha tushare na watoto.
Yeah, wacha tushare na watoto. Like how sad is that?
Because you see, the plight of these people is kama hawaibiwi wanadanganywa, kama hawadanganywi wanatry kuuliwa, like and these people have just gone to look for a better life for themselves. And then man, that's so sad.
The lives and times of a diasporian. I think it's such an interesting thing.
Yeah.
I always look at it like you leave home, you go to this other culture, and especially try and imagine you've grown up in a country.
Yes.
Where you've always known white people are good people.
Mm.
Then now you go to America, and now
Then you
start
realize-
facing the reality of racism.
Number
Something
one-
I never thought.
Number one is racism. Number two, even from the black people around you,
Yeah,
they're still making fun of your accent and everything.
yeah. Calling you black and they're black themselves.
Yes. Worse still, if you're an introvert who does not know how to interact with other people from other cultures.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
When you think about it, it's Nini.
It's
So
terrible.
yeah, so back to Kang'Ethe. So I was looking at hizo photos zake, and there's even times like I saw this video nani ndiye alikuwa amepost Larry Madowo, and I saw like a place where he's trying to laugh and smile, but you can know he's faking it
Of course.
because he's scared. Like, you're so scared.
He's terrified. And also, like, I saw hii saizi vile ameshikwa hii leo and the photos that were posted by Nairobi Gossip, yeah? There's that famous one that you're saying where he's holding his head, and then there's the one that he's talking to his lawyer, and then there's this one. It's a very short video where he's trying to show that he's okay, and he stares straight into the camera. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
He stares like he looks straight into the camera, and you can see the fear in his eyes.
Yeah.
Like, and now has he been taken into custody by the US, or is
he's
it
still going to be
our
Kenya?
Nini? Yeah.
But now they are not going to release him this time. Hana bad. So this is how I'm predicting this. The case it happen, and I'm sure there's going to be pressure on the judiciary, even from his side ingine, like, hey, let's solve this thing as soon as possible so this guy goes. So ataingia kwa plane ya Kenya, of course, na handcuffs mbili hivi, si ndio? But by the time ana land in Boston,
itakuwa na chains kila mahali.
itakuwa na hivi, alafu ile chain ya kwenda chini. Now he'll be there like this.
Yeah.
There'll be lights, those cameras,
Yeah.
taking your photos, and you're there thinking like someone left you and you just couldn't handle it. And it's a sad state of affairs because saizi vile tuko saizi, I feel like we are going to see more of such cases because of ikitu imeturn. Everything has turned into a gender thing. And
It's honestly to me so baffling how kama mtu akutaki sana ndio unaamua kummaliza. It's so stupid to me, and siwezi elewa eti I was with this person and they left me. Kwa hivyo so ukimuua ndio nini? Still they are gone.
Yeah,
Either way they are gone.
yeah.
Yeah,
If I can't have you, no one can have you.
that's dumb.
Yeah.
That's super, like, super stupid. Like, if you think of all the exes you have been with, right now, hata kuna wenye ukumbuki their second names and all that. It's so stupid. Let people be. You don't own anyone.
Anaenda kushangaa huyo, like, alafu pia na try to imagine like hiyo, like, life in a Boston jail. Like, I look at this dude and to me kuna mpaka mtu alinienjoy like, mwafu mse kuna mpaka specs zinakakaa zako, and I laughed. I was like, hey, like, he looks like me. Na mimi nikienda jela tush, you know vile musemanga, like, mimi nikiingia tu jela hivi, I'm transgender, I identify as a bitch, as in I know I have no thug in me. Like, the closest I have come to being a thug and listening to rap music. That's when, like, my gangs are, you see.
But then what would you do?
I just know I'm fucked. I don't know. Like, if I was brave enough and I'm him, and what the hell is going to go through, he cannot even imagine. Like, I look at him and I see someone, 0 tattoos, yes?
It's
Like-
okay, but the tattoo is
like
not
this
a
is a-
measure
this is
of gangster.
Skiza, in America it is.
Not
How many
really.
thugs don't have tattoos in America? It's like next to 0. Like
Like-
everyone. States, mtu wa mkanga tu leo unasema like, yo, I wanna be a thug. Unaona chiseti katia here. Like, you have to look
Have
the
you ever?
part.
But yeah, you have to
the
look
part.
the part and all that. But
And he does not look the part.
some of the coldest and the most ruthless people I have seen, and you know I watch a lot of this shit.
Yeah, I know.
nothing.
White
Nothing.
Boys. But that's white
Yeah,
people.
they are the color of your palms.
Yes.
But still,
but most blacks that commit this,
even black
most blacks
people
that commit this shit, nakwambia, you see, there's someone who can kill people, but they're not a thug.
Yeah.
They're just killing people.
Yeah. So in this case, this one.
But now you're going to meet animals, as in an American jail is not like a normal jail. Like even Kenyan prisoners, our committee, wengi waingiza hapo kwa America, like if ungiingiza 10 inmates, 9 watakuwa kililia kamili, nirudishe to Africa. You see, like sisi misa hizi, take me into a Norwegian jail, I'm a thug. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
For the Norwegian jail, people are saying it's starting to look like a retirement plan. You know, the way we're going through a recession, you're like, how will I survive in my retirement? Norwegian jail.
Let me commit a crime.
Yeah. But anyway, for this dude, first of all, ningependa sana like if he could open up and
tell us
and tell us, number one,
what she did.
Not what she did.
Why he did it.
You can never blame the victim.
Yeah,
what she did. Never ever.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but
I'm just asking, like, what the fuck do you want to hear from him? Because me personally have nothing to hear from him. Because if he was innocent, hangehepa, like a lot of stuff.
No, not I don't.
I'm
not gunning for innocence. The reason why most women, a lot of women, watch this podcast, ni to understand the minds.
Unajua, podcast.
Yeah, a lot of when you did your I don't know if you did psychology and the whatever class in campus, because I remember when I was doing my economics class, we went through this debate. It's a debate that even in high school, unakumbuka when every high school wakikuwa na debate ilikuanga man is inherently good and man is inherently evil. And a lot of us will say, oh, man is inherently good. But no, man is not.
Inherently evil.
Yeah, man is inherently evil.
Kuangalia man, ni kuangalia the wild animals. Like, even what we do to other animals is just evil. Like, you know, like you sit down and I'm going to eat chicken. Fuck your life. You don't have a brain enough. I'm going to eat you. I don't give a
But that's the cycle of life. No, yes, that's nature.
Yeah. That's nature where death feeds life. See, no?
Yeah, but
with that, death feeding life, and also the first rule of nature inakuwaga self-preservation.
Yes.
So because of that, in your self-preservation, you have to be evil to some level.
Yes. But now, with the rules that we have in society, you look at people like Kelvin. Is it Kelvin or Kevin?
I think it's Kevin.
Kevin. You look like people like Kang'Ethe. So you look at this weird dude, and you learn that he's inherently evil.
Yeah.
And in his mind, he has this persona, I'm better than most of you. And if he was a smart person, like if his IQ level was high and he thought the way he thinks, he'd have actually gotten away with it. But he's stupid as hell. Yeah. We've seen many mistakes. Unakuja Kenya, number 1. Number 2, unaenda clubbing. Number 3, you get someone to help you escape and then you decide to start pinging everywhere. Number 4, you look at the articles, the news articles, and they're talking about you. Zinasema uko huku na huku na huku, and you still hang out there. And number 5, which is the biggest of all, why the hell do you still have a digital footprint?
Yeah, that was stupid.
Why?
That was stupid. Alafu pia namba ingine ile tunasahau, he was wearing primary colors at red. Unajua kabla unamuga like primary colors attract the eye. Like kama umekaa hivi, ukiangalia hivi, your eye will be attracted to yellow. He was wearing red. Red stands out so much. Like, what the fuck are you wearing red?
No, still. Because I remember reading that Nairobi Gossip article and they were saying he was wearing a red whatever and a blue checked shirt. And I see him seated next to his lawyer alikuwa anakaa ameenda fashion show compared to him. Yeah.
A lawyer anakula tu do yake for nothing.
Yeah, for
Why
nothing.
Do you need a lawyer for that? Just go face the dick in
But
Boston.
then his accounts in the US are not frozen because ana survive aje.
I think accounts iko frozen. Si ndo nakwambia hii ni ujinga yake. The fact that aliweza kuingia Kenya, yes, means he had a 14-hour head start.
Yeah.
14 hours. The minute he killed the woman, he should have transferred money.
To where? Bado kungekuwa na digital
to an offshore. Sina kwambia hizo countries funny.
But now you can't open an offshore account hivi. You see these processes.
Kama sivyo angetumia zile wahala. Unajua wahala. Inakuwa wahala ama hawala.
But sasa in the US unatoa wapi?
Haya hawala ziko states. Yeah, mpaka they are checked to see if they're money laundering. Because yes, so autumia hizo hawala.
But
so now tuma do yako to Kuwait or some other country. I don't know you come through hawala, you can tumia Kuwait. Because what happens is, as long as the people in America have received their money and they have it in their hands, they just make a call like niaje kuna hii do, so msemina kikuja na hii kitu mpatie hiyo pesa. Okay, we are thinking, I don't know if it's possible to send from US to Kuwait, I doubt, but that was it. Akiada 14-hour head start. Hii 14 hours ninashindwa, what could he have done with these 14 hours? And we are saying 14 hours because tuna forget lazima angengoja plane kwa airport, so he had more than 24 hours. This was enough to at least don't come back to Kenya, number one. Number two, enda Kuwait uoshe choo. Just start a whole life, you're free. Change your name.
Yeah, forget about your brothers. Forget about the club in Westlands. Forget about whatever. But anyway, me, I'm just glad that he was dumb.
Yeah.
And that this woman, Maskini, may she rest in peace.
Yeah.
If there's anything like that she gets to have. It's not justice, because you understand.
You have one life.
Yeah, and speaking of which, today, is it today or yesterday? The first
Monday or Tuesday. What do you mean?
Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
The first person in the US was executed using the nitrogen something gas.
Yes, you check you.
You've not seen? So
what does it do?
Theoretically, walikuwa nasema he won't feel anything nini because now in the past month wamekuwa research on how to execute prisoners. And
which state is that?
I have to check. Let me check and then I'll let you know.
So wamekuwa experiment?
Wamekuwa research on vile what if you use that gas, what happens to the body. And ngoja niangalia. And so they were saying the way it's an easy whatever, and you won't feel as it's humane, quote unquote humane. And and this dude, I don't know why I'm laughing.
I'm sure they experimented on a black person.
Was he black? No, he looked white. He looked white. But unajua ni ile white kama ya Pete Davidson, you can't tell if they're white or black. Yeah. So he looked kind of white, and before he died, of course, he had his last meal, and his family was there to witness it. And before he died, he said something like, I don't know how you call this justice and blah, blah, blah. I don't know what his crime was, but now the US is thinking of bringing this back. It's already in 3 states. Let me check. It's already in 3 states. Nitrogen. Yeah. And maybe it was in Alabama. It's a white dude. Okay. So he was convicted kitambo in 1988 is when he was,
he's lived like close to 40 years later.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, but now the process is called nitrogen hypoxia.
Oh, so hypoxia is inamaanisha unafaa kuwa unconscious.
Apparently,
like we take away your oxygen, hypoxia.
Yes, because it's the nitrogen that whatever. So the thing I was watching today, I was watching a TikTok, and they were saying the way it took him several minutes to go.
Die.
Like he was gasping for air. He was trying to get out of the constraints, the whatevers that were tying him to the bed. And it took longer than what they had said.
What why not finya mtu alale, si ndio? Then now put the nitrogen. Where ama same thing, a very simple death. Put someone to sleep, then put carbon monoxide.
Right.
You see, like it's still fucked up, but at least it's humane.
Yeah.
Like kuna vitu zile, see like the way America, vile tunasemaga like America, you can live the American dream and you can live the American nightmare. Because don't forget, this is a first world country.
Yeah.
I think it's the only first world country that still has the death penalty. It's still like evil and still has very medieval punishments. Because no, death sentence is a very medieval punishment. Ile sisi, the last time to execute mtu in 1982. Like that was 42 years ago.
Yeah.
Of course, we execute them on the streets, but that one happens everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But this one, do you know how long it took? 22 minutes.
Before dead.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
22 minutes. He was convulsing. 22 minutes. That's not humane. Do you think that's humane?
It's not humane.
And that's Alabama. Anyway, the reason I brought this up is this dude, Kang'Ethe,
But Kang'Ethe,
is going to
I don't
which
think
state?
so. Is it like a part your death sentence? I always feel like it's the easy way out. You suffer. I remember like what I was saying even about Margaret. You suffer for this small time, and then unajiondokea. He needs to get married in jail, according to me. He needs to go through your horror. Yeah, like what the fuck? Like ask.
But that's not the
every
worst that can happen, man.
Ask
You know
every
that,
day
right?
For a man.
No. For you.
No,
For
dudes.
Mwafrika, it's
For
the
dudes.
what? No, listen. Hear me out. It's honestly not the worst thing that can
What
happen
else
to
can
him.
happen? What's worse than that? Than being treated like you're someone's just bitch.
Do you want me to repeat? Her legs were cut off. Her hands were cut off. Her nose was cut
Or
off.
in jail. But in jail, just
You can be, you can be tortured in jail. That's number one. There's the raping that is giving you so much scare, which I honestly feel like. And then there is the shoe in the US.
Yeah, the shoe. Yeah.
It-
And the one, what housing unit?
Solitary housing unit.
Shoe. Yeah.
Yeah. So you stay in that place until you lose your mind.
You
lose your mind.
You know, I don't think I'd survive 5 hours without losing my mind. I always think about that, and I feel like I'd lose my mind so fast. I don't know, like it's scary.
You see,
like things
the
we take
first
for
day,
granted.
no, the first day you're there, you're just angry. The first day you're in unasema you won't survive 5 hours. So the first day you're angry, you're whatever. Your emotions are still there. Day 2, you're trying to accept. You know the stages of grief, yeah? Day 2, you're trying to accept and whatever. Day 3, you're still anger and all this. And then you've been there for so long, you don't even remember what day of the week it is. That's when you go crazy. And that's when you start to die, in my opinion, because you have absolutely nothing to do. No light, no nothing. Sometimes they don't even clean your toilet. Whatever. You stay there with your shit and your...
You know about that kid, Khalif Browder?
Yes.
Like this, and this is the ugliest thing about America, because now you'll have people who will be like in the comments, they're like, you know nothing about America. And I always feel like I've not lived there, but I think America controls the world media so much. You don't have to live there to know some of its ugly secrets.
Yes.
So you have like Khalif Browder, a 16-year-old kid, gets arrested for stealing a bag that he never stole. At some point, they put a 16-year-old kid in the shoe, solitary confinement, and this kid is never the same. The kid comes out,
And
does
he's proven
everything.
Innocent, yeah.
Yes, does everything that everyone expects a happy kid to do. This kid, I think he was from New York, ends up even meeting Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Everyone is like, this kid is okay.
Yeah.
But that shoe-ish, he never recovered.
Yeah.
The kid ended up killing himself.
Yeah.
And this is the ugly shit you states. Like I saw a certain, I don't know how true this is, but there was this kid who immigrated from Argentina, wakafika States. Then this kid was told, like ended up hanging out with other Argentinians, was given a gun, went and shot at people in less than a week.
Why?
He was either from Brazil or Nini. he's going to be tried as an adult after living in the US for less than a week, I think. Like that's America for you. Like America does not give a fuck about you. You see. So you look at all the bad things that can happen in that country.
Yeah.
There are so many, and they can end up with you in solitary confinement. And solitary confinement, as you're saying, it's like one of the worst things.
Yeah.
Because you'll just be there in your mind, and that's when you realize that humans were meant to be in a community.
Yes, exactly. That's what I wanted to say. Because even this stuff you're talking about, being raped and all that, is when people join, when people are taken to prison and they find themselves in cliques and gangs within the prison. So he could end up being in those, kuna hizi
African gang.
number one, either an African gang, or he can decide to become to turn into Islam, and you see Islam really protects its people there, and he can decide to turn into Islam, and the people in that clique, the community that he gets there, will keep him safe. Unaelewa?
As safe as possible.
As safe as can be. So kuna hiyo story ya, even if I'm going through this, I can talk to these people who are going through the same experience as me. I can talk to them and blah, blah, blah. When you're in the shoe, who's talking to you? Who are you bouncing off? Hakuna social media, ati nitawatch TikToks. Sina vitabu. I don't have... There's one thing... my cousin Rahe once told me is, don't leave me alone with my thoughts, because that's more dangerous than you leaving me out in the wild.
Vlomeka sijui kama mic yako iko on bado?
Yeah.
Okay.
Iko on.
So, let's continue.
Because one of the most scary places you can go in this world is inside your mind.
Yeah.
Because right now vile unakwanga umezungukwa na so much, kwanza in today's world, there's so much to distract you from what is
your
within.
Own mind.
Yeah.
That
when you're now left to face this. Kwanza sahi vile he has this huge regret and he's thinking how dumb he's been. And then you're left to yourself with your thoughts. That will kill you.
So like, to me, the best thing he could do to himself right now, Neo, take the coward's way out, as people say it.
No.
Because I feel like America is going to be such a horrific place for him.
It's okay. It's fine.
I don't know.
It's
like,
okay. The problem is he's going to Boston, not Alabama. And this story I was telling you about that dude is, it happened 3 weeks ago.
I'd never want him to get a death sentence. I always feel like...
No, you see, when you see, the thing with the US is, when you get a death sentence, hauliwi kesho. And also you don't know which date it's coming. So you just live with it knowing it's coming. And you don't know, you understand, that's also terrible. That's torture in itself. That's number one. Number two is, I don't know. But anyway, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry to the members of the family of this girl.
And I'm also, like, if I could go back in time, of course, I'd tell him don't do it. It's never worth it. Like, I think that's the one thing was supposed to be taught. Like, like when women were protesting, and I saw that they are educate your sons. I remember, like, there are things you can never educate someone not to be. You can't educate someone not to be a rapist. You're either a rapist or you're not. It's according to me. So, but using masculinity channels, because there are a lot of masculinity channels, one of the things that want people to be educated, like one of the things, Neo too, just move on. Like it's serious, but it's never that serious. It's never worth your life, and it's never worth her life. It's never like Muli existed before you met each other. And you can exist after. It's going to be painful. You're going to go through that phase of pain, but that pain is less than going through the pain.
But I feel like when you're saying
every day, like jail every day.
No, I feel like when you're saying you can never educate someone in whether to be this or this, in this world you can, because a lot of people do not value. Yes, exactly, because of these channels. Yes, because they don't value human life, number one. Number two, they feel like this other gender is less than. You know that, right? And it's not only, I don't want to be the woman they call feminazi, but it's not only when it comes to men killing us and all this gender-based violence, but there's also minute things that are quote unquote in the culture, or quote unquote that's how women were created to be, or that's how men were created to be. Imeandikwa wapi, nionyeshe imeandikwa wapi that a woman has to do these roles. And also the same masculinity people say mimi siwezi pika, and then it's like mimi siwezi patia dem do, kwani yeye analeta nini to the table, what are you bringing to the table? You want me to do the traditional, quote unquote traditional female roles, and also do your roles, and still you want anyway, let's move on from that. But I feel like people can be educated on this issue, because they don't value women's lives, number one. Number two is, it's like people wamesawa about consequences. Every action has a reaction, whether good or bad.
Energy is not lost.
Yes, every action has a reaction. So if you decide, let me do this today, there's a consequence. There's a consequence for everything you do in life. Everything you do in life, kuna consequence. So if you decide,
Except corruption.
there's consequences to corruption. It affects.
A good life, soft life.
Unless now vitu badilike, and then you see, like the way it happened in Tanzania, and someone like Magufuli came in, and the corrupt people waka whatever. We dream for such a day in Kenya, yeah? But for now we continue dreaming. But I feel like there's consequences that people decide that as he exist, as nimewatch kina nani, this dudes on, kwanza kuna wengine wa Britain, oh my gosh, they said that in Britain bei ya microphones za podcast zinafaa kuongezwa bei, and I agree, because men are dumb on those podcasts. You've seen them, right?
See, I've not seen that, but I think the dangers are masculinity is easy. Masculinity channels, like they make moving on be so hard.
Yeah.
If you decide that I'm going to blame all women, the same way here the feminist channels, because I'm sure they exist. I've not watched them, but I'm sure they exist. You understand? Here on that other side, where now they are feminazis. No, leave. Because I was trying to explain about that. There's a difference between a feminist and a nikashindwa kukumbuka jina inafaa kwa feminazis. There's those women who blame men for everything. There's also that aspect.
But also you should understand that patriarchy favors men in everything. You know that, right? So this,
But nikuwa kuambia like lazima pia tukubali kuna hiyo side mbaya. It's not as many as men, but it exists. The side where everything turns into a gender thing. So like even this Kang'Ethe dude was to do something. Kuna mimi to shock one day. No, I didn't do. You see, like even what
no. Don't be those dudes of not all men.
See that not all men. Skiza.
Yeah.
Remember, I nearly got into trouble with Anyiko. How did I get into trouble with her? Because she took something I said and twisted it. So that happens also in real life.
Yeah, it happens in real life.
Happens in real life. So, but now to come using masculinity, because me, I know more about masculinity than femininity, of course. Come to masculinity, I feel like that's the one thing everyone got sad, where it's come and it's turned everything into men versus women. I find that to be dumb on my side.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Because men versus women, men need women, women need men. Like nature. Because at the end of the day, nature does not care about the individuals. You know that? So, this is what nature would do. Survival of the fittest, natural selection. If a bunch of men were to hate women kabisa,
no wawane.
A bunch of men, a bunch of men were hate women kabisa, and they decide no sex, what's going to happen?
Ew.
The few that still love each other, see their way to continue. These others will die, rot. Nature will still thrive. Earth will still rotate. So nature, in the grand scheme of things, it's about the species. It's never about the individuals. But sasa,
but that's like in the long run.
yeah.
What happens now with
What
people
happens?
like Kang'Ethe thinking, oh, I can just kill this woman because she's leaving me? What happens
but
now?
Kang'Ethe, you're the same person you told me about a story of a woman who was being left in.
Oh yeah,
So see, that's what
yeah.
as much as, yes.
No, it's both sides. It's both sides.
Yes,
It's both sides. Yeah, because the story of the man who, I remember I had it on radio, and aliambia huyo dem anamwacha. So this man was like, hey, me, I'm done with this woman. And the woman took a bottle of paraffin akamwagilia na akaanza kumchoma. And it's dumb. It's still, as I categorize that woman in the same. Yeah, yeah.
So now that's why like, it comes to murderers. I feel like murderers are murderers. Yes? And those ones exist in every society.
But if you knew about consequences, and if you valued your life, because if there's one thing you always say is you value life and you value your freedom.
Yeah.
So if you value life, and if you know that this is it, there's no second chance, there's no coming back, there's no reincarnation, there's no, yeah, there's no haunting, you understand? Hakuna. So if you know that, and you why? Why?
Dumb. And that image, I think that image to me will stay in my mind forever. Every time I think about Kang'Ethe, I always think about your
Hey, mimi nitamkumbuka vile ameparara abroad sana in Kenya sana, yeah.
That I'll never forget, because I'm sure I'm going to watch when he lands in Boston. That one will also stay with me, because I'm sure it's going to happen. And I look at it and I'll be like, at the end of the day, was it worth it? Because jail, mimi unaonaga naogopa jela sana. Na naweza naogopa jela because remember I told you I went to see my dad when I was 12 years old. And apart from that, when I was 21 years old, that famous quote of mine, the one I normally say, a jailer wrong king amunit. He was taken into jail is equivalent to he was killed. Those stayed with me, you see. And this guy is saying that because now mi nikiangalia now back home kwetu naonaga my dad went to jail, sindio? The brother was called Wilson, went to jail at some point. Yes? Remember the one you met? Enoch went to jail at some point. Remember there's this dude who was talking shit during my brother's eulogy. Remember? Get into details. Was in jail. He has like how many brothers? I think he has like 4 brothers. They all went to jail at some point.
What the hell?
Tukienda kwa hii family ingine ya kina Fadhe, like the second family. So kulikuwa na the first family. Now the second family is someone called Dicky. Dicky died. Went to jail. Dicky is the guy, I don't know if I've heard me say the story, like APL tried to whip 800,000. This is like in the 70s. The same my dad tried to steal 10 million. So he went to jail. And you look at all this, it's like just a line. If I'm not wrong, then this guy, there's this other one who, ile time tukiwa pale, he was preaching a lot. He was being a preacher. Him also, if I'm not wrong, he went to jail. He's the guy of Iromatdi. That's the story I gave people. Right now he's preaching. He went to jail at some point. And I look at all these lines of all these people, and I see the way jail changed them in ways that, you see, like for this one person, the one who said, he who has taken you to jail is equivalent to he who has killed you. He's the younger brother of the guy who was doing the eulogy. And that stayed with me. Like, this was 20, right now, in this year, it's going to turn to 23 years ago. I've never forgotten that. The way I forget shit, I've never forgotten that statement.
But even the same exact statement that you have said was said on our family side, because sisi ni mtu mmoja tu alienda jela, and it's that woman you love. I've never told you the story. My grandmother, the sister to my grandmother, the independent one. She also said that one time, kitambo, and she said, afadhali uniue kuliko nipeleke jela. And that's it. I don't know the details of the story, but that's it. She didn't stay there for long. I think she was there for like 7 days only, and it was bad. But my question is, now you Kang'Ethe wetu vile ameparara and all this, who paid the officer that helped him get out? Hizi resources zinatoka wapi? Because I'm sure his accounts are frozen in the US. Hizi pesa zinatoka wapi?
Story. This is how I think about it. In the story, according to me, it was someone who was successful in America. And you can be a dual citizen in America. So you can have your Kenyan accounts and have your other accounts. So as soon as alifika Kenya, he must have gotten hard cash. Like, I'm going to survive using this hard cash. And remember, he had a whole, Nini, like head start. So kama kwa kikuja Kenya, he could have just gone to the bank and withdrawn dollars. And, you know, because they are less cumbersome. And now, but the reality that will happen is, like, in such situations, I normally also feel sad for your family.
Like the brother. Yeah.
Now you've put your brother in trouble.
In shits, yeah, exactly.
Your mother also will have to see the son in jail, like, hata you muona tena, because of course your mother is not coming for your trial. Lazy, but you have visa to come for your trial.
Yeah.
So you're basically gone. Like, this is the last time yena anakuwa na familia yake, and nikifikiria juu yake, alafu nikikam niangalia hizi vitu zote that yes, you did this heinous crime, you nearly got away with it, and then you did the most amateur moves, go to a club in Westlands. Because at some point lazima wamwe tu, like, I'm fucked. Like, jua, the only way to pata jua ni vitamin D tablets.
Yeah.
Walikuwa nafaa kwanza kutafuta nani hapo, but when you like, you have to, lazima ujue life yako imechange, and that's why it goes back to, it's not worth it. Like, I've had some of the most heartbreaking stories. Remember the podcast, the one I did with someone who was in the US?
Yeah.
The guy was saying, like, a letter day.
Yeah.
Onsando. Did Onsando have that girl? No, he just let her live. Why? Because I just continue with your life.
Move on.
And that's what I'm like, Margaret is literally in a better place.
Yeah.
Because this dude is going through hell.
Yeah, and I'm happy that he's going through hell. And I hope it gets worse. I hope that everything he does goes to the absolute shit for him. Like, whatever he thinks is the worst that can happen, I hope it happens 100 times more. Like hell. Like 100 times more.
So sad.
Yeah.
So sad for, like, everyone there. So, yeah, that has been our Kevin Kang'Ethe. Alafu ile time atapata ndege, of course, pia tutabonga juu yake. Hapo kiland US. Because plan US na I'm looking forward to it. Like, they treat you like the worst criminal there. Hakutapatana na media imekungoja.
Because I saw even CNN wrote about him today, BBC, CNBC, so they'll be waiting for him. They'll be waiting.
Inafanya na shindwa, like, I want to know how Boston, how his sentence will be. Because that friend of mine, I think he was in Minnesota. And he's eligible for parole in 2030. He's been jailed for 37 years.
Friend?
So you're supposed to be 2043. By friend, I'm calling him because you're going to have a primo card or you are friends. You know, you always assume, you just call someone a friend. But he's of course, right now we are adults, so we don't even know each other. Because we were 12 years old, 13 years old, we were kids. Right now we are adults. And the sad thing about here, I remember the first time we got a DSTV, I was so happy with myself. So I used to watch a National Geographic because I couldn't, I was excited.
There was nothing else to watch, yeah.
So now, because this is DSTV, so far I couldn't have ball. I watch National Geographic.
Discovery Channel.
Yes, I used to love Seconds from Disaster. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Planes
Yeah.
So remember there's this one, the episode moja that tunauchi episode about sleepwalking, and then I hear Bernard Bondo suffers from sleepwalking. I've never forgotten that shit. Bernard Bondo. That's so like that guy used to know. Look at the screen. He was that person we could never forget. Him with his, he had this red lower lip, and it's him. And so now I came to discover he's in jail because tunaongea na Zab vile tunapiganga zile stories zetu like hey nakumbuka tu nikiwa na Hussein National Geographic kwa Bernard Bondo. I Google shit, he's there, inmate number. Then I check his story. Halfway I go back to like there's this group. I think umeshasikia Kamina and quote, life can get all up in your ass. You better work it out. And it was De La Soul. So that's life for you. Like people stay. Alafu maybe this is going to be the last example. Ndakupatia history ya Joey and Monica. So me and Bernard is you can be in the same class with a murderer.
I don't know. Yeah, the thing I told you, but you have met at least 7 murderers in your life.
Yes. No, it's
daily.
In your life, how many every day?
Every day you meet at least, if you're walking, yeah.
You're walking in the streets. Joe, you go to school, you're in a classroom, and the person who's going to murder you is in that classroom.
Yeah.
They went to the same school, but at some point they shared a class with Monica. Then
you see that Kikuyu TikTok channel that I always watch, the one that has some Kikuyu dude interviewing inmates and they tell them what they did to get to jail. I like this dude now to interview these 2 people, Joey and Kang'Ethe. I'd like that Kikuyu person to yes, and then
they always have that voice.
Yes.
Kevin
No, his is not like that. He's actually like a journalist. Like he's asking. It's not dramatic at all. It's just that he's speaking in Kikuyu. But the good thing is, watu wenye wanarespond kwa Kiswahili ama Kizungu, and usually you find me watching like the most effed up shit. And I wish that dude could be given access to these 2 people and just interview them. And because I like to know, it's weird that this is how my brain works. Mi nataka kujua why.
Okay. Nani nakanijua Joey, but a few people are questioning it. I really want to speak to Dennis Onsarigo because he's come up with this whole conspiracy theory about why he thinks it's not Joey. So I'd want, because to me after listening to the verdict, I think Joey is guilty as fuck. But Nania anasema maybe he looked at it from a different perspective from mine. But maybe one of them go up on it dramatic.
No, he's not. He's just a very good journalist, and he gets the stories out of this. And it's like the most chilling murder that you have ever heard of. Like, for example, a mother killing her own children, and this Kakikuyu dude just gets it out of them. There's only like kwa hizo show zote zenye nishai watch ni moja tu ni yenye alikuwa anasema ameekelewa, but then you're looking at her, you're like you're lying, yeah. You know, you can tell when someone is lying and whatever. Okay, I feel like I can tell, but yeah. So this dude should interview them. I need to find out what his name is. Na nijue kama inakuanga Inoro ama Kameme. I need to.
But you said he's not as dramatic as Mimi.
He's not dramatic.
Boston. On which day? Boston. No way. In Boston.
What is Kodishu? Oh my gosh.